Hi guys, it's V2 Vengeance and some more World of Tanks content, and in this video I'll be comparing two monsters of the German tech tree. The newly introduced Waffentrager of E100 and the Jagdpanzer E100, both of them sitting at tier 10, end of the line. So first of all, let's look at the stats. The Jagdpanzer has 2200 hit points, while the Waffentrager only has 2000, but only it's more than the other tier 10 tank destroyers except for the D110 E4 and E3. So it has more than the Foch and more than the Object 268. Armor wise, on paper they look the same on the whole. 200mm at the front, 120 at the rear, at the sides, 150 at the rear. Jagdpanzer E100 superstructure is also 200mm at the front, but it's at a lower angle than the frontal plate. The side of the superstructure is 100mm, 120mm, and the back is 150. The side armor, like on the E100, is spaced, which means that actually it's 180mm. The Waffentrager hasn't got any spaced armor. The frontal armor is still 200mm, 120 at the sides, 150 at the rear. But the reason why people say the Waffentrager of E100 has no armor is because the turret front is only 20mm thick, which is very bad. It can be penetrated by light tractors all day, and every single high explosive shell that is going to hit the turret will do maximum damage. So let's move on. Mobility, they both have 1200 horsepower, but the Waffentrager is 35 tons actually lighter, which means that it can go up to 40 km per hour with a 26-degree traverse speed, while the Jagdpanzer can only do 30 and has a traverse speed of 20 degrees per second. The Waffentrager actually is a pretty mobile tank destroyer. I don't really have a term of comparison, but it's actually pretty quick, and given the fact that it can do 40 km per hour, it can have some pretty nice rams in it. The Jagdpanzer doesn't do such great rams, but if people ram you, it's almost the same thing. Moving on, view range 400 meters on the Jagdpanzer and 420 on the Waffentrager. So for the Waffentrager, looking at the stats, is a better sniping tank, and also the gun sustains this theory, as we're going to see later. Signal range 420, and on the Jagdpanzer 420. I think it's the same radio, 10W FCC. Yes, it's the same radio. So until now we can see that the Jagdpanzer is a lot more heavily armored, it has more health points, and is less mobile than the Waffentrager. Now, oh, and also camouflage wise, the Waffentrager has a better camo than the Jagdpanzer E100, and given the fact that it has a better view range, it's a better sniping tank. Now we're getting to the guns, and you can't really compare the guns on those two tanks, simply because the Waffentrager has an autoloader and the Jagdpanzer doesn't. But still, let's look at them. So the Jagdpanzer has a 170mm main gun, while the Waffentrager has a 120mm. Penetration is better on the Jagdpanzer. It has 299mm of penetration, while the Waffentrager has 276. It's still a very good penetration on the Waffentrager, better than all of the tier 10 heavy tanks, but worse than the other Tier 10 tank destroyers, but still you can easily penetrate targets with this penetration. Average damage 560 on the Waffenträger and 1050 on the Jagdpanzer. The Jagdpanzer has a better alpha damage, but it only has a rate of fire of 2.33 rounds per minute, while the Waffenträger, even though it reloads 1 minute, after reloading for 1 minute it can shoot for 3370 damage. So overall the Waffenträger has a better damage per minute. The accuracy, the Waffenträger clearly wins here. It has the best accuracy in the game, 0.29 seconds, while the Jagdpanzer has 0.35. It's still a pretty good accuracy, but it cannot be compared to the Waffenträgers. Aiming time 1.5 seconds on the Waffenträger and 2.7 seconds on the Jagdpanzer. Now, personally, I prefer the gun on the Waffenträger, as most of the people do. It's basically the Jagdtiger's gun, and the Jagdtiger gun was thought by some people to be the best in the game, and it's an autoloader. So yeah, overall the Waffenträger is a lot better at sniping than the Jagdpanzer. It has better accuracy, better aiming time, while the Jagdpanzer is better on close combat, where it's not really a 1v1, because if you're a 1v1 and you're in a Waffenträger, you can totally obliterate your target, even if it's a mouse, before they can put 2 shots into you. The Jagdpanzer is better on fights like 3 versus 3 or 4 versus 4, so when there are more people involved. When you're in the Waffenträger, you want to concentrate fire on one target, and after you destroy the target, you switch to another target, which maybe you should try to shoot a wounded target, so you can make sure you even kill them. Okay, so overall the Waffenträger is more mobile, is a lot less armored, even though sometimes people will hit your hull, and those times, those rare, very rare times, you're maybe going to bounce some shots. And is a better sniping tank. But let's not forget about the Waffenträger has 2 guns. I still haven't researched the second gun. The second gun is actually makes the Waffenträger a tank that needs to be played aggressively. So you're going to help your allies push. They are pushing on a target. You're reloading your drum. 3 out of 4 shells are going to penetrate, most likely, or if you're lucky, all of them. Do a massive amount of damage, and then reload for 45 seconds, which is less than the 128mm by 15 seconds, which can be important in some cases. So overall, looking at the stats, this is better. With this tank you can do some sniping, and with this tank you can do some close combat, but this excels at sniping and this excels at close combat. But how can we observe the difference better on those 2 tanks than in actual gameplay? So let's jump into some battles. Okay, so first game, it's in the Waffenträger and we are on Arctic region. Initially I'm headed for the sniping position right here, where I can cover my allies that are defending a possible enemy push from here. I can also shoot here on this hill, and for enemy scouts rushing this field. Let's put this on double speed. As you can see, the Waffenträger may reload slowly, but it reloads fast enough to be able to put shots in the first enemy spotted. So I take my sniping position. I realize there isn't anything I can do here, so I move on. This is actually the first time I'm in this match I'm going to be able to use my gun. So there is a KV4 and an IS-8. I put a shot in the KV4, the second one I miss. Moving a little bit closer. I bounce because I hit his viewports, and those are no hitbox. In fact, they are a hitbox, but you won't be doing any damage, you will only destroy his viewports. And I can't understand why this leopard here and Leuve will not let me shoot, because I'm the most important gun in the team and I have to unload quickly. I spotted IS-8, I know I can take the risk of getting one shot from him. I track him and he's dead. This is something you couldn't have done in the Jagdpanzer. I wouldn't have killed him. I would have dealt to him 1000 damage, but that's all. So I'm reloading and I'm staying back because I don't want to get shot at while I can't do anything about it. And I know that there is only one ISU there and an IS-8, so I know I can kill both of them in one drum, and I'm going to make a push on them. This is something also you can do in the Jagdpanzer. You can't kill 2 tanks in 10 seconds. You will shoot once, maybe kill the ISU, but then you will have to wait 20 seconds to shoot the IS-8 another time, and then a wild KV4 appears, which is AFK. I shoot him twice. I don't want to waste my shells on him. I hope the fire is going to kill him, but I soon realize it won't be enough. But I'm not going to shoot because I have more important things to do. They say chat, he's reloading. I know the ISU is not reloading, he's ready to fire, but I take the risk, kill the ISU, and then put one more shot in the IS-8. So this is the Waffentrager. It, as you could see, it excels. Until now you saw it fighting at close distances, and it really excels at it, unless there are a lot of enemies, because sometimes you either survive the game and do a lot of damage, or you're going to die early. So I'm reloading again. I'm almost reloaded. I'm aiming for this object. And this is something where if you had been in the Jagdpanzer you could have done damage, because you don't have to wait 60 seconds to reload. I missed my second shot. I keep firing at the side 7, but I don't know where those shots are going. I back off. He misses me in the last second, and from close combat this game is actually switching to sniping. So as you could see, I was able to deal 1000 damage to the TI-7 really quickly. I move, I'm almost reloaded. I see this STI. I'm hoping he's going to back off. And he actually is backing off, and he's dead. The last object isn't that brave and decides that he should drown. So overall, you could see that this tank can handle close combat situation if it's fighting against a small number of tanks, and it's also highly capable of doing damage at long distances. So end of the game, let's see the post-game results. So almost 7,000 damage, 6,952. Most damage in the team, clearly 3,000 more than the second member. Most experience, 18 shots fired, 14 hit and 13 penetrated. 3 shots I missed when I fired it at that I-7 at the end. I don't know where they went. And that non-penetrating hit was in the I-8 at the beginning when I only destroyed his track. So the Waffentrager. Now let's see what the Jagdpanzer can do. This time we're on mines and I'm going to play aggressive. I'm headed for this spot here where I can shoot at enemies trying to rush the cap, or I can shoot it to their tank destroyers camping in the base. I'll put this on double speed in fact. Now I'll let it on 1 normal speed to see the difference of mobility between the Jagdpanzer E100 and the Waffentrager. As you can see, the Jagdpanzer is slower. And I'm in my position. So I go around, I spot a Jagdtiger, I'm aiming, and unfortunately that one bounced. I don't know why. I should have penetrated him. And now I'm going through the long reload on the Jagdpanzer. Actually, how much time the Jagdpanzer needs to reload 2 times, this is how much time the Waffenträger needs to reload its 15 cm autoloader. This is something you can do in the Waffenträger. In the Waffenträger I would never have been able to one-shot kill the WZ-131 unless I ammo racked him. And this is the advantage of a high alpha damage gun. Also, another thing I noticed in the Jagdpanzer, you know that all tank destroyers have had their high explosive anti-tank ammunition nerfed. The Jagdpanzer still has over 400mm of penetration. So I guess I can say thanks Wargaming. But we'll see until the next patch. I get spotted. The enemy Jagdtiger tries to hit me, but hits the rock. I'm waiting for the T-32 to pop out. There is an E100 coming. There he is. It was a risky shot on the T-32. I might have hit the turret and bounce or even miss. So I didn't take the risk. I'm waiting. I come out. I take a really bad shot at this Jagdtiger. I didn't enter sniper mode. If I had, I probably would have noticed that the target is a little bit over the Jagdtiger. But I took the shot anyway. I spotted an enemy Jagdtiger. I rush my shot, but someone kills him before I do. And this game is perfect right now, so we've taken the hill. On this part we're advancing and we've almost capped, which means that the enemy have to rush to defend their cap, but I'm here and this E100 is also here. So I spot this Jagdpanzer E100, I put one shot into his lower plate. If I had been in a Waffenträger right now, I should have stayed out and put all my drum into him, and in that time he would have been able to shoot me once. So in this kind of situation the Jagdpanzer is better. So as you can see, the Jagdpanzer has no problems shooting at long distances. It's not as good as the Waffenträger, but it can still do the job. I'm spotted again. I back off because I don't want to get shot at by the Jagdpanzer. I see that he's not turning at me, so I'm going to shoot him first. And actually there were two shots that hit me at the same time. No, it was the one shell of the Jagdpanzer that bounced from my gun mantle into the frontal part of the tank. That was a lucky shot. I took him 1122 health, which is 100 more than my average. I spot this E100. I put one shot into him, and you can see right now the armor of this tank. If I was in a Waffentrager right now, I might have been dead already. So this is the kind of situation the Jagdpanzer is better than the Waffentrager. Putting yourself on the front line and soaking the damage out, as well as dishing it out. The Waffentrager is not that good at taking damage, but if it gets the opportunity to shoot at some tanks at long distances, or as I did in the previous gameplay, where I knew that the asset was reloading and rushed them, the Waffentrager is clearly better. So it pretty much depends on your playstyle, what tank you prefer. I've had great games both in the Jagdpanzer and the Waffentrager. And personally, I really don't know what to recommend, but I think I recommend the Waffentrager because the total loader is just epic. It can do so much damage in such a little amount of time. I've never killed a mouse from 100% to 0, but I did kill an E100 from full health. And this battle is over. I try to aim and someone else kills him. So overall, if you prefer more mobile tanks or sniping vehicles, the Waffentrager is for you. If you don't mind if you're slow and you want to be on the front line, the Jagdpanzer is the tank for the job. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you found this informative. Please subscribe for more videos, like if you enjoyed, and have a great day.